I've developed my own power rankings algorithm for the purpose of eliminating the bias of name recognition. All of my rankings are 100% based off of 2020 statistics and nothing else. The sample size isn't perfect yet, but I still find the results fascinating. Here are my power rankings after Week 4 in the 2020 NFL season. Still at 32, the New York Jets. I actually thought the Jets would win last week against the Broncos. The Jets had home field advantage, it was a short week, they were playing a team starting an undrafted rookie making his first NFL start, and the Broncos had to fly across the country to play the game. Still, the Jets lost. It will be a small miracle if the Jets win a game in 2020. At 31, down 2 spots, the Houston Texans. After a terrible 0-4 start by a playoff hopeful team, Texans GM and head coach Bill O'Brien was finally fired. The terrible start stings extra hard for the Texans because they already traded away their top 2 draft picks for next season. At 30, up 1 spot, the New York Giants. The Giants haven't won a game in 2020 and are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Yet, they are still only 1.5 games out of first place in the NFC East. That says everything there is to say about the Giants and the NFC East right now. At 29, down 4 spots, the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons had another brutal performance in Week 4. To be fair, no one expected the Falcons to win against the #1 scoring offense Green Bay Packers. But in Week 5, the Falcons play their divisional rival, Carolina Panthers. If the Falcons lose next week, I would suspect Dan Quinn is the next head coach fired. At 28, up 1 spot, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings finally notched their first win of the season in Week 4. It's tough to know how to value that win, since it was against a winless Texans team. Ultimately, I think the Vikings are better than their power ranking, although it may take the Vikings until November or December to really prove it. At 27, down 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars. After a Cinderella Week 1 performance, the Jaguars have turned back into the pumpkin we thought they were. The Jaguars' Week 5 game against the Texans should inform us about how bad these two sewer-dwelling AFC South teams really are. At 26, down 3 spots, the Washington football team. The Washington football team lost handily, but also played pretty well against the Ravens in Week 4. Washington should get beaten handily by the Rams in Week 5, but after that, I'm excited to see how Washington plays against some lower-level teams like the Giants, the Lions, and the Bengals. All of those teams should be great barometers for one another. At 25, down 3, the Detroit Lions. The Lions aren't a terrible football team, but their run defense was against the Saints in Week 4. In all of the Lions' losses this season, their opponents have scored at least 27 points. Against the Saints, the Lions' offense put up 29, but the Saints put up 35. The Lions' offense can score. Their defense just needs to pull its weight. At 24, up 3, the Denver Broncos. It would be interesting to see what the Broncos could accomplish if they could somehow get healthy. Their offense had potential to break out this year, but instead of breaking out, injuries have broken down this team. At 23, up 5, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles finally got their first win of the season in Week 4, and they're in first in the NFC East. That division is such a joke right now. I know the Eagles have had a litany of injuries, but they really should just go into rebuild mode. The Eagles could seriously improve their chances of getting an impact player in the draft, rather than claw their way out of good draft equity. At 22, down 2, the Dallas Cowboys. This is the team that will likely end up winning the pitiful NFC East. The Cowboys' defense is the worst in football. They give up the most points per game, their run defense is the second worst in football, and their pass D is the 10th worst. But the Cowboys' offense can be electric in spurts. And the Cowboys almost come back against the Browns in Week 4. They scored 24 in the 4th quarter alone. If the Cowboys can score like that consistently, it won't matter how bad their defense is. At 21, up 4, the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow got his first win in the NFL in Week 4. Joe Mixon finally got his season on the right track in Week 4. But things are about to get worse for those Cincinnati Joes. The Bengals' next 5 opponents are the Ravens, the the Colts, the Browns, the Titans, and the Steelers. Those are some of the best defenses and football teams in the NFL. At 20, down 2, the Los Angeles Chargers. Listen to Chargers rookie quarterback Justin Herbert's stat line in a losing effort last week. He was 20 for 25, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Herbert looks so damn good, it's honestly insane. The Chargers could upset the Saints on Monday night, but their defense needs to play a lot better than they did in Week 4. At 19, down 2, the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are a fun team to watch right now. Ryan Fitzpatrick plays with his heart on his sleeve. The team has absolutely no expectations on them, and the team is just playing with a youthful exuberance that translates to their gameplay. Not to mention, Houston is tanking this year, very badly right now, and Miami has both the Texans' first 2 picks in next year's draft. Things are looking up for this franchise. At 18, up 6, the Carolina Panthers. Are the Panthers better than we thought they were? With a new coaching staff and so many new key players, maybe we incorrectly judged this team after the first 2 games. If the Panthers win their 3rd in a row next week against the Falcons, then the Panthers may emerge as a dark horse in the NFC South. At 17, up 2, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a good football team. Unluckily for them, they play in the same division as 2 great football teams, the Ravens and the Steelers. With the extra wild card spot this year, the Browns could make the playoffs. Next week, the Browns play the Colts. That is a game to keep your eye on. Both the Browns and the Colts have been dominant since Week 1. At 16, the New Orleans Saints. After getting off the rails and losing 2 in a row, the Saints beat the Lions handily in Week 4. In a Week 3 loss to the Packers, Breeze threw the ball 36 times. Meanwhile, Kamara and Murray combined for 18 carries. In a Week 4 win against the Lions, Breeze threw the ball only 25 times. Meanwhile, Kamara and Murray combined for a massive 31 carries. You might be thinking that the Saints' run-pass splits were so bad in Week 3 because they were losing to the Packers. But the Saints were winning that game going into the 3rd and were tied with the Packers going into the 4th. If the Saints can emulate their run-pass splits from the Lions game, they will have success this season. At 15, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have lost their last 2, but those games were against the Patriots and the Bills. The Raiders' next 2 aren't much easier as they play the Chiefs and the Bucs. The Raiders are stuck in the middle of schedule hell right now, but I think by the end of the year, the Raiders should finish with a solid 8 to 10 wins. At 14, down 4, the Arizona Cardinals. After starting a blazing hot 2-0, the Cardinals have cooled down more than any NFL team, dropping to 2-2 through 4 weeks. Luckily, the Cardinals have a get-right game this week against the Jets, but I'm going to need to see a lot of progress from this Cardinals team before I start believing in their potential in 2020. At 13, down 5, the Chicago Bears. The Bears are still being a little overranked by my algorithm, but the Bears defense is 7th in the NFL in points per game allowed. On Thursday night, the Bears' 7th ranked scoring defense takes on the Buccaneers' 8th ranked scoring offense. If the Bears win that game, I'll definitely start to take them seriously. At 12, down 5, the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, like the Bears, are overranked by my algorithm. But the 49ers do have the 5th highest point differential in the NFL. They have the 11th best scoring offense and the 3rd best scoring defense. Obviously, the 49ers' 2 wins came against the Jets and the Giants, but the 49ers absolutely smashed the spread in both those games. Unless the 49ers smash the Dolphins in Week 5, they should continue to fall in the power rankings. At 11, down 2, the New England Patriots. Not much to say about the Patriots' loss to the Chiefs. Luckily, the Patriots play the Broncos at home next. That is an extremely winnable game for the Patriots, with or without Cam Newton. After the Broncos, the Patriots have a bye, so hopefully Newton will be able to make it back for the 49ers in Week 7. At 10, up 4, the Tennessee Titans. I really hope the Titans are healthy and everything in the NFL can resume with no more hiccups. This week, the Titans play the Bills in what could be a preview of a playoff matchup. This is a game to keep your eyes on this weekend, as it could end up affecting AFC playoff seeding. At 9, down 6, the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens haven't looked right for the last 2 weeks. I thought the Ravens would dominate Washington this past week after getting embarrassed by the Chiefs. And sure, the Ravens did dominate Washington, but they didn't dominate Washington as thoroughly as I expected. Only 3 sacks and 1 takeaway from the Ravens defense? in a game where Haskins threw the ball 45 times and Washington ran 70 plays? That's not the Ravens defense I know. At 8, up 3, the Los Angeles Rams. Is it just me, or did the Rams just punt the week against the Giants? I feel like the Rams just didn't want to waste their effort and try hard against a terrible team they could easily beat. So that's what happened. The Rams, with a totally disinterested attitude, beat one of the worst teams in football. It makes sense to me. Why would you try harder than you have to? At 7, up 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs' Thursday night football game against the Bears should tell us a lot about both these 3-1 teams. I'm pretty sure the Bears are a fraudulent 3-1. For now, I'm not sure how fraudulent the 3-1 Bucs are. None of the Buccaneers' wins this season have really inspired any confidence in me. A win over the Bears on a short week would certainly pique my interest in the Buccaneers' playoff potential. At 6, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The unexpected bye week has the Steelers treading water in my power rankings. The Steelers' next 4 games should all be really interesting and give us a super clear idea of how good this Pittsburgh team is. The Steelers play the Eagles, the Browns, the Titans, and the Ravens. Each of those challenges should be tougher than the previous. At 5, up 7, the Indianapolis Colts. After dropping an embarrassing Week 1 loss to the Jaguars, the Colts have been sensational. The Colts actually have the best scoring defense in the NFL, only giving up 14 points per game. Before you say they've only played bad offenses, this season, the Vikings offense put up 34 against the Packers, 30 against the Titans, 31 against the Texans, but only 11 against the Colts. At 4, up 1, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks have the second best scoring offense in the NFL. It doesn't even matter that they have the 21st ranked scoring defense. The name of the game is score more than you get scored on, and MVP Russ is scoring lots. The Seahawks should continue to win with ease until their Week 9 tilt at the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, at 3, up 1 spot, is the Buffalo Bills. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Josh Allen just all feel like they can't be stopped a quarter of the way through the regular season. The Bills are about to embark on a couple of seriously difficult games as they take on the Titans and the Chiefs. If the Bills win next week against the Titans, then Week 6 against the Chiefs will probably be a game to decide the best team in the NFL. At 2, the Green Bay Packers. No Davante Adams, no Allen Lazard, no problem for Aaron Rodgers. As I said, right now, the quarterbacks of these last 3 teams I've listed are all playing MVP football. None of them can be stopped. The Packers had the number 1 scoring offense in Week 1, and they've held the number 1 scoring offense all season since. Not to mention, the Packers defense actually looked phenomenal against a very offensively competent Falcons team. The Packers and the Seahawks are my NFC frontrunners by a country mile right now. At 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. What is there to say about the Chiefs? They won the Super Bowl last year, they were the favorites to win it this year, and they're currently the consensus best team in football. The one super impressive thing about the Chiefs team that people probably don't know is that the Chiefs currently have the second best scoring defense in football. The Chiefs only give up 17.5 points per game on defense. Meanwhile, their offense scores nearly 30 points per game. The Chiefs should handily win in Week 5, but their Week 6 Thursday Night Football clash against the Bills will certainly be one to circle on your calendars. You can follow me on Twitter at MPTalks. Please like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell to be notified when my next Power Rankings video is up.